Hello to all you Scorpios. Hello and welcome to the horoscope for March 2013 for Scorpio. What is going on? What are the planets doing? Well, this month is a lot about a month divided into two different pieces. There is the beginning of the month until up to the 11th to 12th. That is with a lot of feminine energy. That is with a lot of peacefulness, reflecting, and then there is a lot happening with action and with going forward and being active and be, the very masculine energy. So it's a month with two different kind of energies. Now let's talk about the first part. The first part of the month is very much about what I talked about in February at the end of the last 2 weeks of the month. I talked about that stellium that is going on in Pisces in your 5th house, and actually that is continuing during the month of March. So there's not much difference in there. It's a kind of a continuation. Now a stellium is very it's like a pointer. It's like trying the heavens that are trying to say us something. If you believe in as above as below, it is really a pointing out to the Pisces energy. And for you, it's particularly in the area of life that has to do with romance, that has to do with creativity, that has to do with maybe your own business, your own projects, your children, all of that, the things that you do from the heart, and the things that you want to say to other people, to express towards other people. Now that this energy is so prominent has its meaning, and on a very collective level you could say it simply means that people should be more compassionate. Not having pity, but be compassionate. That people should be more open. And for you in particular, it's that 5th house, that people should be more aware of the fact that they can be in the flow, that they can be at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment, that they can connect, so that they feel that they are very much doing what they're supposed to do. It's all about that. It's all of that energy. It's an energy of the intention. Is not so active and not so specified, but it's an intention that has a trust that the outcome will be good. Now for you, you have to translate that around 5th house stuff. So for some of you, it could have to do with a romance. It's very beautiful to have such a stellium in Pisces when you are Scorpio, because that is a trine with your sign. So it could be a moment in your life that you are very much in love, especially with that Neptune there in your 5th, especially with Venus in the beginning also in your 5th house, and especially with the new moon on the 11th. So the moon conjuncting with the sun also in that 5th house. There's going to be 7 planets. That's a bit a lot, isn't it? But I think a lot of Scorpios, they do like a bit of the extremes because they have the feeling that they are alive. So for those of you who are just started a romance or who are looking for a new romance in their life, it is really a good moment. It's really a moment to be open, and it's really a moment to go with the flow, and even when there is insecurity about it, because all this Pisces energy is for some people confusing, especially when you are someone who really is a rational person as well, or who likes to have control in your life. Then it could be a bit tricky or a bit not so easy to adapt or to tap into this energy. But I'm sure you will, you Scorpios, because you do want the truth to be there, and this energy is very much about the flow of things, about the feelings, about the intuition. And you Scorpios, you really do have a good psychic ability as well, just like the sign of Pisces. So that's the first part of those 2 weeks. By the way, if you are in a relationship, it's also beautiful. It's like a new start in doing, or the ability, having the ability of doing things together, of falling in love again, of doing fun together. That is really important. If you think, I'm not having fun in my relationship, do something about it. Go to the cinema, go to have a nice dinner in a nice restaurant. This is all very fifth house emphasis, which is very good. Now, what is happening next in the second part of the month? As from the 12th, Mars, your ruler in traditional astrology, is going in its own sign, in Aries, in your 6th house. So that is a total shift. That is being very active on a day-to-day basis. So for some people it will be their work. They're going to have more work, they're going to do more. You're going to be all over the place, you're going to do a lot of things, you're going to be way more active with Mars there in your 6th house. Or you're going to start doing new things, like having that consider your health. So maybe you could start a new diet. It's a good time to stop smoking. It's a good time to battle for a better health. And I think that most Scorpions do like to have some action in their life. So that is very good. And the other thing is that also the Venus and the Sun will enter Aries in the 6th house. So also for work, it's a big beam on your day-to-day work that you've got to do. Maybe it's going to be more in the focus. Maybe it's going to be, especially with Venus in there and the Sun in there, you're going to get along better, maybe with colleagues. Are you going to do things that you feel that you are worth it, and you feel you have confidence to start maybe new things with Mars in there and all that, Venus and the Sun. So that is good. Now the thing is that Pluto-Uranus square is again triggered. Now Pluto and Uranus are in cardinal signs. You're not a cardinal sign, you're a fixed sign. So these people will feel it the most. Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in a square in Aries, in that particular house that I was talking about, the 6th house. Now, but for you, as a fixed sign, you will feel it in those areas of life that has to do with your 6th house. And that has to do with Pluto, which is your 3rd house, which is your communication house, which is the way you communicate. As I talked probably in other monthly horoscopes, with Pluto in the 3rd house, it's really, Pluto is really a very intense, transformative planet. So in the way that you speak, you can really make a difference with Pluto there in that 3rd house. You can really make a difference in your words that you speak, in your communication, and in your understanding of things, in reading, in taking courses and all of that. So this is highlighted again. This Pluto-Uranus square is always there for the rest of the year, but these things, these aspects are triggered when a faster planet like Mars or Venus or the Sun is going to aspect these planets, and it's going to do that. As from the 23rd of March until the end of the month, there is first Mars hitting that Uranus in your 6th house, then Venus and the Sun. So together, almost together, Venus and the Sun. So this means that this Uranus-Pluto square is going to be triggered. Now Uranus and Pluto is all about change, and deep change, transformative change, not a little change on the surface. And Scorpios do like that mostly. Well, they really want to transform, and they wait until the very latest point, and then they transform. So things that can happen suddenly, because Uranus is a planet of sudden things going on. There is restlessness, it's a restless energy, but it happens suddenly. And it happens also very deeply because it's connected with Pluto. So 6th house and 3rd house can have to do with work, can have to do with communications. It can have to do with the things that you communicate towards others. It can have to do with negotiations. It can have to do with your health. That you really, something is happening that makes you see that you've got to change something on a very deep level. You've got to change the way you communicate to others. You've got to improve it in a better way. And you can do it also in a good way, but even become a better communicator. And thinking on a very inventive way, actually. So with insights, having insights all of a sudden. So it could be around the time of the 23rd until the end of the month, a very lively period. Now, this is all coming to a head because the moon, the full moon, plays a role in this. It's the full moon on the 27th in Libra, and this full moon is going to oppose that 6th house. The full moon in Libra is in your 12th house, and these planets in Aries is in your 6th house. So around the 27th to 28th, something can happen that makes you think, okay, I've got to change my diet, or I've got to do something considering my health, considering improving my work, considering improving my day-to-day stuff, because this is not working anymore. And the fact that it could be a big change is even emphasized because a fixed star is involved as well. Now, fixed stars, I use them in horary astrology, horary charts. I also use them when they come into the picture with conjunctions on specific points. Like now, this full moon is on 6-7 degrees of Libra, and there is a fixed star called Vidya Matrix. That star, fixed star, is all about separation. Now you could say, ooh, separation, not nice, especially not for a Scorpio, who is, not all Scorpios, but some Scorpios are very attached to what they like. And this is again this transformative energy that is going on. The 12th house is all about letting go of stuff. So there's something here highlighted on the different levels that I just mentioned that really could make a huge change. You can let go of something, and because of that you say, oh, this was tough, but I'm very glad that I did it. I'm very glad that I did the change, because you're going to feel good about that afterwards. But this shows that there is this need inside of you for saying goodbye to an old part of you in order to welcoming new people, new stuff, new things coming into your life. So very much also a Scorpio month for the month of March. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Another very little detail adding to this was that the Mercury retrograde. So in the beginning of the month, you have this Mercury going retrograde in that 5th house of yours, you know, the house of all this, this heart house, this house of expression. So it can also have to do maybe with work, that you will try to express yourself in a different way, and that the ideas come from your intuition rather than from the mind. And Mercury goes direct again around the 17th, so when things are confusing for you around the 17th, things will get clearer. So that's the only thing that I wanted to add. Thank you very much, you Scorpio. Thank you very much for all your comments and all your nice feedback that you're giving me. It's really appreciated. And I see you back next month. Bye bye.